Hi everyone, Anthony Morganti here. Recently, DxO Software released a new version of their application, PureRAW. It's now PureRAW 6. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a few of the new things added to this version of the application. Very quickly, I want to mention that if you don't already own PureRAW 6, DxO has available a fully working free trial. I'll have a link to it in the description below this video. If you decide to purchase it, I have a 15% off discount code you could use. I'll also have that listed in the description below this video. Now, you could use PureRAW 6 as a plugin in Lightroom Classic, or you could send an image from PureRAW 6 into Photoshop as a smart object, or you could use PureRAW 6 as a standalone application. Today I'm going to use it as a standalone application. And you can see right at the top it says add raw images to Lightbox. So I might pick these two images that I have on my desktop. We're going to open those up into PureRAW 6. And when you open images up in PureRAW 6, it opens into a panel they call Lightbox. It's basically kind of like a library module showing you all the images that you opened up in that session. So I have these two images. Now I could click on one, hold the command key or shift key and click on the other one, control key on a PC, and select both of them, and I could just process them. And it's a very quick way to do bulk processing. The thing though, it's going to use the settings you last used. So you got to make sure your settings were right, or you could process them with a preview that allows you to alter the settings. Now I'm not going to process both of these at the same time. I want to do the image of the bird first. So I'm going to process with preview. And when you do, you'll be opened up into the main screen. And here we have kind of a before after. You can see the before is on the left, the after is on the right. And if we move the slider around, you can see before and after. Now, specifically, one of the new features is a new kind of like model that you could use. It's actually an old model that now is expanded. Specifically, if we go over here, you'll notice there's DeepPRIME 3 and there's DeepPRIME XD3. DeepPRIME XD3 was in previous versions, but it only worked on Fujifilm X-Trans censored images. So if you shot Nikon or Sony or Canon, this DeepPRIME XD3 really wasn't effective and didn't work on those types of images. Now though, it does. They've expanded it to work on sensors that are called Bayer sensors. Bayer sensor is a type of sensor. It's just like the way the pixels are arranged on the sensor, whereas X-Trans are arranged in a different way. Now, with DeepPRIME XD3, it will very effectively work on images that were shot with cameras that use Bayer sensors. And really, just about all the cameras I'm aware of use Bayer sensors. Bayer sensors are made by several different manufacturers. The most popular Bayer sensor is made by Sony. Nikon uses those sensors. Of course, Sony uses them. I think Canon uses them as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. But a lot of manufacturers use these Bayer sensors. And now DeepPRIME XD3 will work on these sensors. And I'll show you that it is actually better. So I'm going to move this bar over to the left so we're looking at the edited image. And then I'm going to zoom in like a lot. Let's 400%. Then I'm going to go over to the navigation window and let's move this over here so that we could see, first of all, on the far left is the unedited image. You can see there was a lot of noise here. Here's the edited image using the DeepPRIME XD3 model. We'll go to the DeepPRIME model and you'll notice it's not as good. DeepPRIME XD3 and DeepPRIME 3. And you'll notice the sliders haven't moved. They're the exact same position. So the only thing we're looking at is the different models. So we have this DeepPRIME 3 model, and then we go to the DeepPRIME XD3, and you can see it is better. Hopefully it did come through in the video. I'm going to zoom in on it in post-production, so maybe you could even see it better. So here's the DeepPRIME XD3, and here's the DeepPRIME 3. Then finally DeepPRIME XD3. You can see it is better. Hopefully you could see that. So let's go back to fit to screen, click right here. Now, some things that haven't changed. You have these presets at the top. You just really have two, DeepPRIME 3 and DeepPRIME XD3. You could create your own. So if you use a specific, let's say DeepPRIME XD3, and you kind of modify it by moving luminance to 70 or something like that, and you force details to 39, you could create your own preset here. So you could save your settings as a new preset if you'd like to. But typically I found that just using one model or the other, in this case I think the DeepPRIME XD3 model works the best for most images. Now I'll go to the actual preset for that. So we'll go to DeepPRIME XD3 and it will then ask you, are you going to lose these settings? Basically, I move these two sliders, click yes, and you can see it removes them or puts them back to that preset setting. I'm doing this for a very specific reason, because one of the other features I want to show you has to do with this new export compressed file thing it has. Specifically, if you want to export a DNG, it has a new compression feature that really creates a super small DNG file, and they claim you won't lose any color, tone, contrast, sharpness at all. And I want to demo that. So we're going to try to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. I'm going to use the DeepPRIME XD3 DNG preset. We're going to keep optical corrections on. Now, this isn't new. This has been here for a while. And we're going to keep this retouch off. And that is new. And I'm going to demo that in a moment on a different image. So we're going to use this preset. We're going to go to the export module. We're going to click right here. And we're going to export it as a DNG uncompressed. You can see here's the new feature, high fidelity compression. So let's just do the uncompressed first. We also could export a TIFF, a JPEG, or that smart object. Remember, you could export from PureRAW 6 directly into Photoshop as a smart object. I mentioned that at the top. I'm not going to do that here at all. So we're just going to do this uncompressed, and everything else here, I'm just going to do it in the original folder, and I'll rename it after. I think it'll be easier. So I'm just going to process now. So we'll click here because it's going to take a second. It'll bring us back to Lightbox. You'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner, it says processing 0 of 1 images. Eventually, you'll see a bar go across the bottom of this thumbnail here, showing that it's actually processing. There it is. And now it's done. So we'll go to Finder. This is it right here. It's actually on my desktop right here. But let's rename it. I'm going to go uncompressed DNG. Okay, so we can compare. So this is the uncompressed version. Now we're going to go back to PureRAW 6, and we'll click OK here. And now I'm going to go to this image again, and we're going to process with preview. So again, we have this same kind of unprocessed image. But we're going to use that same preset, all the same settings. This time though, well, I should go up here. I'm going to use that same preset, all the same settings here. Then we're going to go to the export module. But this time, instead of uncompressed, we're going to use high fidelity compression with all the settings the same. And we'll click process now. And again, it's going to take a second. And eventually you'll see that bar go across the bottom here. And then it will ask me what I want to do. So let's do that. And then we're going to go to Finder. And this one we're going to rename compressed. Okay, so we have the compressed version and the uncompressed versions right here, these two versions. Let's take these and let's open these up into Photoshop so we could compare them to one another. So we're going to open these up into Photoshop, and when they do, I'm going to put them together so one layer is on top of the other. And then we'll just take a second to open, obviously. And they're RAW files, so they're going to open up into Camera Raw. So to open both of them, I'm just going to select both of them in the film strip down there, and we're going to click Open. Now they're going to open in their own tab. Now this is the uncompressed version, and this is the compressed version. Let's get the Move tool. Let's click on this and move it up to the tab of the other one. Hold the Shift key down so it drops it right on top. Now if you look at the Layers panel, you'll notice I have these two layers. The top layer is the uncompressed version. I'm sorry, the top layer is the compressed version. The bottom layer is the uncompressed version. So let's zoom in by hitting Command+ a couple times. Let's kind of roll over here so we could see the bird's eye, some feather detail, the background. Now this, again, is the smaller version. This is the compressed version. And there's the uncompressed version. Compressed version, uncompressed version. I cannot see a difference between these two at all. We could go over to another part of the image, this brighter part. They look identical. Some feather detail here. They look identical. Now you're wondering maybe how much smaller is it? Well, let me show you. Let's get to the images again. I have them both selected here. I'll hit Command-I on my Mac. So we'll get up these, it takes a second because they have all these hard drives here. All right, here's the uncompressed version is 82.5 megabytes. And the compressed version is 17 megabytes. So it's considerably smaller. So it's definitely worth it, particularly if you have limited drive space. You may want to consider, you still want to keep your raw format. So, throughout your workflow, export is a compressed DNG, and I found it works really, really well. So there's that. Now, the last new feature I want to talk about is you could remove sensor spots automatically. So we're going to go to this other image. Now, this image specifically wasn't really shot at high ISO. So I didn't have an image that was shot at high ISO that had sensor spots. As a matter of fact, I have barely any images with sensor spots. As a matter of fact, these aren't even in sensor spots. These are water droplets because it was windy and the water was blowing into my camera. It was raining a tiny bit too, I think. So again, we could zoom in. Oops, can't do it here. I think I'm still in Photoshop. So let's zoom in to, say, 300% and scroll down. Or scroll over with this. I think it might be easier. See if I can find a sensor spot. I know we have some here. Okay, there's one right there. See that sensor spot there? So there's more than one, though. We have a number of sensor spots. There's one there. There's one there. There's a number. So what we need to do is when we go over to this panel here is all we need to do is turn on dust removal. Now, it takes a second to do it. And what you may want to do is just hover your cursor over the image, and then eventually you'll see these little circles appear. It found all these sensor spots, and there are a lot on this image because this image is old. I've had this image for a long time, and I've used it in a lot of different videos demonstrating how to remove sensor spots. So I know it has a lot of sensor spots. It even found a sensor spot off the image, but you can see it found all these sensor spots. So it's a nice feature to have. So you could not only remove noise, you could now remove dust or sensor spots with this tool. Just click it on. But remember, it does take a second or two to kick in because it is using AI to find those sensor spots. And then you could come in and if you don't like one, just click on it and it will remove it. See, like that. So if you say, well, that wasn't a sensor spot, that's actually a man's nose, click on it and it will remove it. So that's it. That's the three main new features found in the latest version of PureRAW. It's now PureRAW 6. Again, in the description below this video, I'll have a link to their website. They have a fully working free trial. If you decide to purchase it, I have that 15% off discount code. I will also have that listed in the description below this video. Thank you, everyone who watches my videos. I really do appreciate it. Talk to you guys soon.